inevitably, people always betray you of your trust. They always have some sort of higher expectations than what you are capable of delivering to them because you are simply, as a human being, sharing your mortality. You are not perfect by any means. However, society, they have a tendency, they want you to be absolute divine perfection. They want you to be crafted and molded to their expectations over you. The inevitable is that for the past 2 years, I've had the worst toxic relations with the worst toxic women. People, people in particular who only had validated my existence or quote unquote they loved me as much as they can use me and manipulate my heart and my trust and broken my heart to manipulate me, to betraying my trust and fucking me over so bad to the point where my heart and I felt like a fallen angel with broken wings with a traumatic heart and a traumatic past and fucked up mind and scars that ran so deep that it's damn near impossible to forget. Scars that ran so deep that being the constant reminder of being alive is in itself a reminder of my past, of all my emotions negatively that I was inflicted and affected upon and inflicted towards me, and it's poison that ran so deep when their snake tongue, their venom ran so deep in my blood and my veins and just left me crippled and isolated in a state of purgatory and a consciousness that I had found myself. I so wrapped around, coiled around this imperfection, coiled around this permanent insecurity or paranoia, if you will. Eventually, I found that eventually, no matter how much somebody, quote unquote, they tell you that they love you and how much they care for you, that of all the people that enter into your life and your existence, they serve a profound, deeper, they're supposed to serve a greater purpose, deeper, divine purpose and meaning into your existence and your mortality in your life. However, a lot of times these people, they only see you for your physical attractions or your materialistic wealth or your popularity, and constantly on a regular basis every day of my life I'm constantly surrounded by people like this. And me personally, I don't fuck with anybody, and me personally, I've always been brutally honest. I know what I want in my life, and when I find my greater aspirations, I draw upon the universe, and I constantly speak in words of like positive words of affirmations into the universe, the abundance of divine blessings derived from the universe, and I invite it into my consciousness, into my will every day of my life, and I'm constantly having to engrave that deeper purpose into my life. This purpose that I'm able to change the world, this purpose that I'm able to find the reflection of myself to serve a greater positive purpose to somebody else in my life. And for those who have my heart, which is only 2 people in my life, I truly don't have any real friends. And the very people that I thought I meant everything to, I meant absolutely nothing to. I meant nothing in the slightest. And that's one of the greatest pain to endure. That's one of the greatest painful reminders and things of a pill to swallow that's called reality. And it's one of the things that has scarred me for so fucking long, having to keep my karma straight, knowing thyself, knowing that I do right by every single person in my life, and I submerge myself to the point where it's unrecognizable, to the point I'm not tolerating less than I deserve or pouring into the cups of others that leave mine empty or don't return a favor. It's not reciprocal. However, I do everything that I can to aspire to not only change the world, to change myself, and obviously to inspire other people around me. When every woman that I've talked to, every woman that I've been in a relationship with, every woman that I sought and pursued a pathway of a relationship towards, and it's always backfired on me. It's always Their deceptions and illusions have always deceived me. It's like a house of mirrors and a house of smoke and mirrors, you know. And I'm in a place now where I'm a lot more happier and content. I will have to say, like, I've definitely changed a lot. I've seen the highest point of my life to seeing the lowest, worst point of myself, the side of myself, to now, like, going back up to the highest point of myself. And I think I've finally found this one incredible woman in my life who truly values and accepts me for who I am and loves me unconditionally. And it's surreal because of all these other past women in my past who I tried to get up in a relationship with. And I'm sure they watch my videos. I know it. You know, they stalk my page and shit. But, you know, it's surreal. It's baffling to me because these people that I try to get up in a relationship with, and then they friend zone you or leave you up on red and like ghost, ghosting you, and then when they see you in their arms and another woman, or being in a relationship, in a loving, happy relationship with somebody else, and then they come tripping up and they wonder like, well, that should have been me, and well, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but you lucked out, because I try to give these people an opportunity and a chance to get to know me, and then now they're tripping up and getting pissed off and provoked and like fucking tripping up and hostile and angry, or jealousy, or trying to give me a cold shoulder or whatever else, whether coworkers or friends or whatever else. I mean, that's not my problem, But every single day of my life, I'm having to heal, constantly changing myself and metamorphosizing myself, reinventing the wheel, reinventing myself, having to reinventing my future and how I feel, my perspectives. And while I'm not a perfect human being myself, I cannot be everybody's savior. I can only be my own savior. And how, in a reflection of how somebody else feels or thinks of me, and their perception, opinions, perspectives, or otherwise, or whatever else, that's not my issue. I cannot control how other people think about me or whatever else. Just know that, I keep my karma straight. All I can say is, like, I try to do right by every single person in my life, and I mean, just worship the grounds that they walked on. I was always affectionate. I was always romantic. I've always been there for people. I always picked up the phone when somebody called me or texted me. I've always been that type of person to spoil people, like romantic gifts and like surprises. And, I showed up at their doorstep when they didn't have a car and I had a car, and making double trips despite working a full-time job and how exhausted I was, and showing up at the doorstep, just like, just being a part of their life and being loyal to them without question, or, just being the best person possible, in everything that I aspire, and making sure that they're doing good and happy all the time. And it's just one of those things where my today is where some past memories had caught up with me, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I know I'd never had done anything wrong in my life, and just know that if you're not loved by somebody, just know that in your future, with enough patience and time, you'll find somebody in your life that you'll meet somebody like I did, someone that loves and accepts you unconditionally for who you are and what you are. So,